Outside, holler and tell them we're getting started.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Sheila Gunderman. And I want to say that, Sheila is with the Virginia Center for Policing Innovation. The Virginia Sheriff's Association was an original partner with the VCPI. We have a long, close history. In fact, when VCPI started some 21 years ago, they were employees of the Virginia Sheriff's Association. And as they developed and took on more programs and became more and more successful, we kind of kicked them out of the nest and became their own organization. They got the 501c3, and it's been uphill ever since. So we're proud to have partnered with VCPI. I've served on the board for a lot of years. But VCPI has been a partner with us. We've done courthouse and courtroom security assessments. We actually got a contract with them a few years ago, and they did an assessment in every one of our courthouses. They partner with us on the VINE program, and we're all familiar with VINE. And today, they're here to talk about the Virginia Sheriff's Institute certification program. A lot of time and effort has gone into this by the Virginia Sheriff's Institute. There's a committee that was developed, and VCPI looked around the country and came up with a certification program that is second to none. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. Sheila, as Director of Programs for the VCPI, is responsible for managing all aspects of the delivery of VCPI's training, e-learning, consulting, and technical assistance initiatives, and providing support to the growing VCPI staff. She's played an instrumental role in helping build and grow VCPI from a Virginia-specific, federally funded program into a program that's nationwide, provides service in every state, and they're not all grant funded now. They're making it on their own, so they're up and coming, and we're honored to have Sheila here. Linda O'Connell is here. Linda's Executive Director of VCPI, and Sheila's going to talk to us about our Virginia Sheriff's Institute certification program. Please give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, John. That was a great introduction. My name's Sheila. I'm with VCPI. I'm the Director of Programs there. And before I get started, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for what you do every single day. We are beyond honored to work with VSA and VSI on this program and on all the programs that John mentioned over the years. One quick plug before I get going, representing VSI. We have an e-learning course that we developed with VSA and the Petersburg Sheriff's Office years ago on judicial security. And it's a free online course that your personnel can access anytime, anywhere. Just want to make sure you all were aware of that. It made me think of it when you mentioned that program, John. So if you have any questions about that, I'll be here the entire program to help you guys with that. But right now I want to talk to you about a program that you're probably familiar with. I hope you're familiar with at least a little bit, but it's really just getting started. We've only been, this program's only been officially around for 2 years, and so we've only had 2 application sessions that have happened. So if you're not extremely familiar with it, it's okay, because it really is new, and we're just hoping that over the years this will grow and grow to support the great things that you all are doing in your localities. We are one of 4 partners on this program. We are probably the most behind-the-scenes partner. It's the Virginia Sheriff's Association, the Virginia Sheriff's Institute, the Virginia Commonwealth University, the Wilder School of Business and Public Administration. And we're here to support you as an applicant, help you navigate this process. I'm going to share with you some really brief details about it today, but if this at all interests you after we get going, come find me in the exhibit hall. I will answer any question you have. Our role in this really is to support you and make sure that you have an easy, smooth application process. The committee, the VSI Certification Committee, is the body that actually determines, reviews and accepts your application, but we help you get there. So again, I thank you all for being here. Thank you, VSA, for allowing us time on your agenda. I know you have a lot of really great things going on. So I'll go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want to show you is a video, one of many videos that we put together for VSA and VSI to use to promote this program to you guys. We had the privilege of sitting down with some of the VSI certified sheriffs and their personnel back at the spring conference in Norfolk, and they were willing to be on camera and be interviewed, and so I want to show you, hopefully I do this right. I have the wrong one. Oh, I was using the wrong one, sorry y'all. Show you the video we put together for this.
Law enforcement in the modern age is much different, even than it was 10 years ago. I mean, there's a lot more competency required in our business, and I think the program really establishes the framework for that.
I don't think people realize how much training individuals in law enforcement really have. And so it was an opportunity for me to basically verify that not only for myself, but for the public that I serve.
I wanted to become VSI certified because it would recognize the amount of time and effort that an individual would put into honing their skills to become a better law enforcement officer.
It highlights all the training that you've done over the years. As you get more education, you get more training, you become a better law enforcement officer. And that's the great thing about this program. It helps you to strive for something, strive for a better goal in training, strive to become a better law enforcement officer, to better your community.
You know, I looked at it as a challenge and an opportunity. The challenge was to reach out and look at new or additional trainings, and that gave me that opportunity to push out, and it would give me more tools in my toolbox.
It kind of shows that you're not stagnant. You're not just sitting there and going through your career based on things and trainings that you've had a decade ago. It shows that you're keeping up to date with things that are going on.
If we just settle for the basics, the minimum, we're not improving. As a professional, you should always set goals. You should always strive to achieve higher expectations and stay in touch with different trends.
You want someone who's committed to lifelong learning, and this enables you to demonstrate that you're doing that you're staying with what are the current issues, the current concerns of your community in a tangible way.
It's really important to show your community and your staff that you are a lifelong learner and that things change and we need to change with the times.
And that certification tag at the end of your name as a sheriff adds some credibility to your community that obviously you have the trust of the public because they elected you, but certainly having the word certified behind you adds a degree of relevance and credibility to the population that our constituents that we serve in and out. And again, in public safety, it's trust is paramount in our relationship with the public.
This program helped me elevate myself to be a great leader, to be a leader within my organization and within the law enforcement community.
It's a lifetime achievement. I mean, it's something you can take with you and something you'd be proud of.
I would encourage any and all law enforcement to apply. It can only assist you with being better prepared to do what you need to do in your community as a law enforcement professional.
Look into this program, sign up for it, start down the path of getting your certification. you will come out a better person, a better individual, and more effective in your position.
All right, so that video really kind of captures the program better than I could ever explain it. Again, I want to thank everybody that participated in helping us put that together. And we're hoping that VSA and VSI can use that video and the other ones to just help get the word out about this. Much of what you heard the sheriffs and say on the video is what the program is all about. The dedication to lifelong learning. This demonstrates your commitment to excellence, communicates to your staff and your community that you are dedicated to the professional advancement of the profession, but also yourself. It's a very individual, personal experience that this certification program is all about. Most of the benefits, I would say, are probably intangible. There's a bunch of information on this slide. Really, it boils down to, it's a demonstration of commitment to excellence, and it recognizes all of the work that you do. Not just your training, but also your life experience within a sheriff's office, your education, career development activities, professional development activities, just like this that you go to. It's a way to sort of capture all of that in one certification. Right now, I mentioned we're really, I feel like we're just getting started in this program. We're going to look back, and these are the early years of this program. But we already have 35 people that have been certified, which is pretty awesome. 21 different Virginia Sheriff's Offices are represented among the VSI certified group. And we just hope to see this grow and grow. And really, I think it would be great if every sheriff's office in Virginia had at least one person certified. I think that would just be a really, really cool accomplishment. This is a snapshot of the requirements, and this is a lot of information to digest. I'll cover some of it real quickly, but again, please come see me at the booth, and I can walk you through each of these sections and explain it. I'm not really a math person, so at first when I saw this, I'm like, whoa, points, adding, I don't know. But I can help you through this. And I think you'll find that once you start breaking down these sections, when you look at your experience, your education, the trainings that you've attended in the last 4 years, and then conferences and things like this that you go to, I think you'll probably find that you already meet these requirements. I think that has been sort of a theme among the people who've been certified, is when they first looked at the application, they felt a little intimidated and weren't sure if they were going to do it. But once they started digging in, they're like, oh yeah, I already have all this stuff. One, I think, common question that we've had about this is that I think people think that there's a specific training program that you have to attend to get a certificate for the certification, and that's not it at all. It's based on whatever trainings you go to individually, at your academy or wherever you would train, at conferences that VSA and VSI put on. So you build your own packet based on your own experience. It's not any one thing that you have to come to in order to get your certification. So I think it makes it a little bit more accessible because you build your own portfolio, basically. But you'll see on this chart, it's broken down into these 4 categories. Again, we can go through that individually if you want to come find me. And all this information is on the VSI certification website, which I'll give you at the end here. This is a bigger breakdown. I don't have a lot of time, so I won't go into all of this, but this is just a little bit more detail about what you saw on the previous slide. One important thing to mention is that the actual certificate that you get is issued by VCU. So that's pretty impressive. The certificates are awarded at the VSI conference every spring, and a representative from VCU comes and presents the certificates there. So it's not a VCPI certificate, it's not a VSI certificate, it actually comes from VCU. So this is just a really brief breakdown. The guidebook that explains all of this goes into much greater detail about all these things. The application window, you probably saw it in the video, is every year between October 1st and December 31st. And I encourage everybody to, if you think you're going to apply, start getting your information together now. It may take a little time to gather your training documents and things like that. But if you submit it early, like maybe in October, that gives us plenty of time to help you make sure that you have what you need and the paperwork squared away. But that timeline, that window is pretty strict. And then after December 31st, it goes through a multi-phase review process. We review all the applications internally, and then we pass them to the VSI Certification Committee, and they have the final approval of applications. The fees and payment structure, this is based on your membership in VSA and VSI. It's pretty straightforward, and this information is all on the website. So I apologize that I'm going fast, but I know you have another much more interesting speaker after this. I want to show you one more quick video because I think it's pretty neat, and I really hope you all consider becoming VSI certified.
I'm Tom Gilligan from the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office, and I'm VSI certified.
My name is Jimmy Barrett. I'm with the Arlington County Sheriff's Office, and I am VSI certified.
My name is Major Matt Kay. I am the Chief Deputy with the City of Falls Church Sheriff's Office, and I am VSI certified.
Major Tommy Carter. I'm Chief Deputy, Lynchburg Sheriff's Office, and I am VSI certified.
Milton Alexander Castell II. My agency is the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office, and I am VSI certified.
My name is Richard Garris, Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. I am VSI certified.
Beth Arthur, Arlington County Sheriff's Office, and I'm VSI certified.
Chip Schuler, Sheriff, Smith County, and I am VSI certified.
Hello, my name is Carlos Turner. I'm the Sheriff of Surrey County. I've been in law enforcement for 21 years, and I am VSI certified.
My name is David Hill. I am the Sheriff of Nelson County Sheriff's Office, and I am VSI certified.
My name is Sheriff Don Sloan, and I'm the Sheriff of the City of Lynchburg, and I'm VSI certified.
Michael W. Taylor, Pittsylvania County, Virginia. I'm VSI certified.
My name is James E. Brown III. I'm with Charlottesville City Sheriff's Office. I'm the sheriff there, and I am VSI certified.
I'm Jeff Walton, the Sheriff of King William County, and I'm VSI certified.
My name is J.B. Gardner, and I'm the Sheriff of Carroll County, Virginia, and I'm VSA certified.
I'm Carl Leonard, Sheriff of Chesterfield County, and I'm VSI certified.
I'm Sheriff Mike Mondo, City of Danville, Virginia, and I'm a certified sheriff.
My name is Vanessa Reese Crawford. I am the sheriff in the City of Petersburg, and I am VSI certified.
The rest of the video goes into the same stuff as the other one. And hopefully you'll start seeing these videos around social media. I think that VSA and VSI plan to put them out a lot. And if your agency has a social media site and you can share it on yours, that would be great. The more we can get the word out, the better. Lastly, if you have interest in this, we've got some brochures. You probably got one in your packet. We also have posters. So if you have any interest in promoting this at your agency and you have a spot in your office or in your break room that you could put up a poster, it would be really helpful to us in helping get the word out. The email address that we use for this program for all communications, this is on the website, but if you want to jot it down, it's vsicert@virginiasheriffs.org. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over. And thank you guys very much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for all that you do in promotion of our program. I'd like at this time to introduce Major Sean Kimmets of Stafford County Sheriff's Office. Major Kimmets is, I call him Sean, he's been a point of contact for a lot of different areas for Stafford Sheriff's Office. If you need anything pretty much from that any sheriff's office can offer, Sean has been a great authority and a great help many, many times. He currently serves as commander of the Field Operation Divisions, but he didn't just get there by accident. He has served in just about every aspect of the sheriff's office there is, starting off at the jail. He is a graduate of James Madison University, and he's going to be here to talk to us about the RING program. Come on, Sean.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good morning. So about 20 years ago, my mom moved from Stafford County, where she'd lived her whole life, moved out to Independence, Missouri. That's about 30 minutes east of Kansas City. But she didn't forget about Stafford. Since she's retired, she's able to keep up with all the news there through me, through Facebook, reading different newspapers and periodicals, as well as the crime out in Independence in Kansas City. I like to, being the good son I am, like to give her a call every week or so to make sure everything's going okay out there. And you can imagine our typical conversations. It goes something like this. Hi, Mom, how you doing? Great, Sean. The shooting at the 7-Eleven last night, I read it on Facebook this morning, and I see you haven't gotten a suspect yet. Reading some of the notes, I see it may have been some drugs involved. And you know, if you don't solve this thing in the first 48 hours, there's a good chance you're not going to solve it. What kind of leads do you have? Well, considering she married a fire chief from Independence, in the background, the whole time we're talking, all I hear is, hey, ask him if he set up a command post. Ask him if he shut down every road within 5 miles of this incident. Does he have a safety officer? So that's kind of what I'm putting up with. The nice thing about it is she also sees a lot of the great things that go on in law enforcement agencies. Specifically, Independence started a program where you could register your cameras, any exterior cameras on your house or business. They would keep that information. Then when a crime occurred, the law enforcement officer could call that company or that homeowner and say, hey, can you look at your video? If you have anything that would be helpful in our investigation, can you send it to us? Specifically in this case, they had a guy that was driving around, exposing himself to young ladies, propositioning them, and it just so happened that one of those people with an exterior camera caught it on video. They submitted that video to the police department. They broadcast it through their social media. And lo and behold, ironically enough, his mother called in and said, hey, that's my car, that's my son driving the car, and he's at my house now if you want to interview him. They went there, interviewed him, got a full confession, and the rest of the case is history. So thanks to that camera, they were able to solve this case. Well, my mom said, do you guys have a program like that in Stafford County? I said, no, but I'm going to work on it. So I talked to Sheriff Decatur about it. He said, absolutely, let's go forward with the program. So we put a couple meetings together, and we created what was called SCOPE, Stafford County Operation Public Eye. Really catchy. We had the media come in. We got immediately about 50 residents to sign up, and then the program just kind of languished. It seems that people really, really want to be helpful. They want to help law enforcement. It's just they don't want to take that extra step after they've registered their camera to go onto the law enforcement website and provide their home address, their email, their cell phone number, that sort of thing. So it turned out we were going to need more things. We're going to need some sort of a partnership. So that's where Ring's going to come into play. With Ring, we contacted them, and immediately we were seeing results. We had a gentleman who stole a car behind one of our local grocery stores. Got into a little pursuit with him. He jumped out, fled the scene, but guess what? He went right in front of a Ring camera in one of those townhomes. So we submitted the video evidence to all of our officers, as well as put it out on social media. And the next morning, one of our school resource officers looked at the video, and she said, oh, I know that kid, that's Jimmy. And guess what? He's at school today, but he looks a little bit different. Last night, he must have shaved his head, and he's covered in scratches. Turns out when Jimmy was fleeing from the police, he ran through a briar bush and was all scratched up, and then he thought he'd shave his head to try and prevent us from identifying him. This officer went a step further. She pulled the school video camera the day prior, and she said, well, if you notice in the video what he's wearing, earlier that day in school, he was wearing the exact same shirt, jacket, pants, and the same shoes. So She said, guess what? He's up in first period English right now. If you want him, we'll go get him. Brought him down to the office. We had a full confession. Earlier today, you talked about false identification, about how important it is to get things right. This is another tool in our toolbox. It doesn't eliminate the need for neighborhood canvases, doesn't eliminate good police work. It's just an extra tool. It provides us with extra information, extra video evidence at trial. My biggest takeaway has been don't be afraid of the technology. It's so vital in most of our cases to have all the right technology. I was going around our office. I noticed we still have fax machines. Who still uses a fax machine? I went down to our breathalyzer room. We still have a dot matrix printer. I mean, where can you even get parts for a dot matrix printer? Don't be afraid to move towards new technology. This is really great, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Ray Pollum. He is the head for law enforcement partnerships with Ring. He has over 30 years of experience with telecommunications companies and technology, dealing with them. He's going to explain how easy it is to get involved with Ring and how easy their app is to use. Thanks.
All right, so thank you, Major. I appreciate that. And good morning, Sheriffs. Good morning. I'm here to introduce you to the law enforcement portal. But before I get started, I just want to quickly admit something to you. I joined Ring about 1.5 years ago, so I'm a relative newcomer to Ring. However, I worked for the founder of Ring at one of his previous companies for about 10 years. The only reason that's relevant to you is I was around when Jamie first started talking about inventing a video doorbell that was going to reduce crime. And Jamie would tie those things together all the time, obsessively. Honestly, I never made the leap to the reducing crime. I understood the concept of a video doorbell, let you see here and have a conversation with somebody at your doorstep. How that was going to reduce crime, again, I never made the leap. Anybody here see Jamie on Shark Tank about 4 years ago? Couple? Okay. Well, spoiler alert, he got turned down. He comes into the Shark Tank. He brings up the video doorbell. He talks how it's going to reduce crime. And not only did it get rejected by every shark there, he got mocked by one of them who said, burglars don't go to front doors before they break in. Jamie knew different. Last year, Amazon acquired Ring for over $1 billion. Makes Ring one of the most successful companies the most successful company to have ever appeared on Shark Tank. And I bring up that story for two really important reasons. One is this mission statement to reduce crime in neighborhoods. It's not a clever slogan that's been slapped on a successful company. It's a founding principle of Ring. It's core to everything that we do. The second reason I bring it up is the law enforcement portal is something that we provide to law enforcement. It's free of charge. We don't expect endorsements. We don't expect promotions. We don't give you bumper stickers for the cars. It's in furtherance of this mission. So the law enforcement portal, let me jump right into this. It's your ability to basically see into the platform. So what I'm going to do is explain briefly what the platform is. I'll talk a little bit about the portal, and then we'll get you out of here hopefully for lunch soon. So the Ring platform is it's comprised of devices and a social media app. It's based on these 3 rings of security. The first ring is the ring around the front door. That's served by the video doorbell. This lets you see, hear, and have a conversation with somebody at your doorstep. The second ring of security is around the home, and this is served by perimeter cameras, and so we have spotlight cams, stick-up cams, floodlight cams. All of these share the same characteristics of the doorbell in that they're based on motion detection. Somebody gets within 30 feet of one of these devices, you're sent an alert on your smartphone, and you have the option of hitting a green button and engaging in a conversation with that person that's encroached on your property. You can avoid it. You don't have to have that conversation, but the entire time that person on your property is being recorded, and which is being projected up into the cloud. The added feature that the perimeter cameras have is there's a 110 decibel siren. So if you don't like the way the conversation's going, you can hit a red button and it sends the would-be bad guy scurrying. Again, all of this being captured on video. Now, the key to this platform is the third ring, which is the ring around the community. And this is served by a social media app that's dedicated to, basically as a replacement for Neighborhood Watch. So at a time when physical participation in Neighborhood Watches is declining and people are moving to social media, this literally is designed as a Neighborhood Watch. Our tagline on here is low frequency, high relevancy. The way that this works is this is a free app download to anybody in the community. You don't need to own a Ring device for it. Anybody can download it. Anybody can share video on it. You don't need to have a Ring device. It can be an Arlo or a Nest or any of our competitors. We invite everybody into this thing. So as you can imagine, the number of apps being downloaded versus the number of video doorbells being sold, I mean, there's a disparity there, and the apps is going, and the growth is exponential. When we say I'm gonna focus for a second on the high relevancy. So when you download the app, you're asked to put in your physical address or your residence address. You put that in, and then you create a virtual neighborhood, which is an area that's of interest to you, an area of relevancy for you personally. So that can be as tight as 1/10 of a mile. It can go out to 5 miles. Rural areas, it goes bigger. To urban areas, it goes smaller. The point of that is when somebody posts video inside that area that you defined as your virtual neighborhood, you'll get an alert on your smartphone. And the fact that you defined what was relevant to you, you're more likely to pay attention to it and look and see what's on that alert. The low frequency side is, again, this is a Neighborhood Watch app. There's a lot of social media out there. And there's social media where a suspicious person might be followed by a free mattress and a bike for sale and the housing ads and garage sales for the weekend and all the rest of the stuff, all the noise level. That doesn't happen on Neighbors. We limit this to 4 categories. The categories are criminal activity, suspicious activity, stranger, or safety. If the video posted into Neighbors doesn't fit one of those categories, the person posting it gets a notice back saying their post was rejected. So, when the Girl Scouts start selling cookies and all the posts come up saying, be on the lookout, the Girl Scouts are out, you'll never see that on Neighbors. It's limited to these 4 categories of crime and safety. So that is the platform that exists, and the takeaway on this is it's free. It's not tied into a Ring device. You'll never see Ring advertising on it. We don't monetize it in any way. I'm going to show you a quick video of what this looks like at the platform level.
We were sitting here on the couch one evening and Ring Neighbors notified me of some activity. I pulled out my phone and there were multiple houses that evening that posted videos of this woman stealing packages off their porch.
To have someone just walk right up to your house and take something, to put a face to that action and to actually see that occur, gave us the ability to do something about it.
Immediately, our fellow neighbors started to comment, this is the same lady that just hit our house a couple hours ago, and then it kind of took off from there.
Very shortly after that, the police arrested her and went into her apartment and found hundreds of unopened boxes.
Coming up at 6, a woman caught on video seen several times in front of Dallas homes stealing packages was actually turned in by her own neighbors.
This is the first thing we ask for. Do you have any video coverage of this? That's the greatest tool to be able to take as law enforcement and be able to turn over to a prosecutor to be shown in court. Definitely sharing information with neighbors, even if it is just social network, would be a huge difference.
It can only help that connectivity, everyone watching out for each other.
The way it brings everybody together and sharing of information and incidents is almost instantaneous. Nowadays, the game has been completely changed.
Everyone wants to make sure that their neighborhood is safe.
Right, so that is the platform. I mentioned as I got started here that I've known Jamie for probably like 17, 18 years now. So I've had a chance to watch this company evolve. And one of the things that's evolved also is the language within the company. Jamie knew when he started this thing, and he used to talk to me about this, when he thought when he had millions of cameras out in the community, that there would be an opportunity someday to work with law enforcement. The video that you just saw, and a lot of what we see is petty theft. It's the porch pirates, and I mean some of it's more serious, the door kicks. But we see enough of the stuff that's serious that I consider terrifying. You guys would consider it Tuesday. but it's stuff that changes that opportunity to work with law enforcement into a responsibility or an obligation to work with law enforcement. Law enforcement portal is exactly that. So the law enforcement portal, the best way to look at this is it's your ability to come in and operate in this platform. The platform exists today. The conversation is taking place in your community today. This is your ability to join that conversation. So at a high level, it does three things really well. And then it's very sophisticated, but I'm not going to get in the weeds for this presentation. So the first thing is you have the ability to see all video that gets posted in your jurisdiction. So rather than a small little virtual neighborhood that the consumers create for themselves, you'll see all video that gets posted in your jurisdiction. We put a shapefile around your city or county, and you'll see all video that gets posted. You'll also see all of the comments that come in below that video. And from a consumer's perspective, as I post video, I remain anonymous. As I comment on that, I remain anonymous. I can go in as a consumer and I can say, I recognize that guy. It's the knucklehead in the greenhouse over on Main Street without fear of retribution. But when law enforcement joins the conversation, you're identified as law enforcement. So it'll say Deputy Smith, LA County Sheriff's, the law enforcement name in there, and then whatever comments you want to put. I mean, you might jump in and say, at 3 o'clock in the morning, that's not suspicious activity, it's criminal trespass, please file a police report. You might jump in and say, we arrested that guy last night, thank you very much for sharing, or would like to talk to you more about this. I mean, there's a lot of ways of engaging the community as law enforcement. The second thing you're able to do is issue alerts into the community in a really hyper-local way. So what I mean by that is if there's an area of the community that's experiencing a high level of vehicle break-ins, let's say, you'd be able to type in a physical address, so 123 Main Street, and then issue the alert. And the alert would say, this area is experiencing a high level of vehicle break-ins. Be vigilant, don't leave a weapon in the car, take the valuables out of the back seat, lock the doors. I mean, all this typical stuff that you would say in that type of alert. But when you send it out, if that address falls within the virtual neighborhood that I created for myself, I get the alert. If I'm on the other side of town where it's not impacting me, I don't. And it goes back to the high relevancy, low frequency. I'm not being inundated with stuff that's not relevant to me. It's an important aspect of this. And then lastly, and I know particularly the investigators, the detectives kind of gravitate toward this, it's a really important part of what we do, but you will be given through Portal the ability to reach out to the Ring device owner community and request video when you're investigating an incident. And the way that you do that is you go into the video request feature, you'll type in an address of the incident that you're investigating. Let's assume it's a residential burglary. You'll type that address in, you'll bracket a time frame. So let's say from 10 p.m. Thursday night till 2 a.m. Friday morning. And then you'll geofence an area that you're interested in receiving video from. So just like you would do a physical canvas, but you're doing it digitally. So you geofence that area on the map, and when you send out that video request, the video request will go to every Ring device owner within that geofence, if and only if they captured video for the time that you specified. So if I'm in that geofence, but I didn't capture any video, I don't even get the request. So as you send that request out, it's actually an email that goes from Ring to the consumer. And it says the local police department or sheriff is interested in reviewing video that you captured at this time. They're completely anonymous at this point. You've sent that video request out. Their privacy is intact. Privacy is paramount to everything that we do. But they're given an opportunity to A, share the video, or B, review it and then decide if they want to share it. If they don't respond to it, you're never going to know who they are. But if they do, their contact information flows along with that. It's been an incredible feature. And again, you know, if I could leave you with a couple of things on Portal, the community engagement side is incredible because you're going to see video that gets posted in your community of criminal and suspicious activity all the time. And then on the request video side, obviously the power of that, hopefully it's self-evident. So I'm going to show you a quick video of what this looks like when Portal comes into play, and then we'll move on from there.
I was asleep at a hotel in Illinois. I woke to an alert on my phone, saw a truck in the driveway that did not look familiar. And the person started walking around to the back of the house. That's when I got on the intercom.
Hey, dude, get the out of my yard. The cops are on the way.
Basically, as soon as I saw this guy in my yard, I uploaded it instantly to the Neighbors app. Pretty much within minutes after anyone posts, they've already commented on it, and they've got a deputy heading to the neighborhood to check it out.
The Ring video and the still pictures we obtained from that absolutely were the hero in this case.
As I was driving, as soon as I saw the grille of that truck and the color, which I compared to the pictures I already seen from Deputy Green, and could recognize his clothing, his facial hair, and the hat that he's wearing, no doubt, 100% that's the guy we were looking for.
It's felony warrant, grand theft.
Yeah, that's gonna know.
Yeah, stolen property, dealing stolen property, pawned items, everything.
I mean, anytime you can close that gap of occurrence to reporting it, I mean, you're gaining ground. It's a win for not only law enforcement, but the community.
All right. That is our law enforcement portal. Ring has a booth over in the exhibit hall. Please come and see us. Keep in mind this is a free service to law enforcement. We'd love to do business with you. Thank you very much for inviting us here, and sincerely, especially on this day, thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you very much for being here today, and Major, we appreciate you coming and presenting this program. We're very helpful to many of us, I'm sure. This is a part of the program where we have a business meeting, so we would ask at this time, if you're not a member of the Virginia Sheriff's Association, we would ask you to leave, go back in the foyer and enjoy yourself and prepare yourself for lunch, which is not too far away. So certainly if you're a non-member, we'd ask that you leave at this time. So everybody a chance to get moving.